emotionally. So it's very helpful for any of us to learn how to become more resilient in the face of emotional pain. And resilience doesn't mean you don't experience emotional pain. Life is a contact sport, and we do get knocked over time and time again. But resilience is that we get back up and are able to continue to live in a way that we feel good about. So that we can't go through life and not get knocked down, but we can get better and better at dealing with our own experience in terms of that. So horrible things do happen. You and I agree with that, Bevan. We've certainly seen that, and our heart goes out to anyone who has to go through painful or difficult events. And when the event is over, what's left in us is the memory of that event, and then our thinking about the event. And I think one of the best things anyone can learn is how to navigate memory.
Yeah.
Because we all have painful memories. And when they come up, they create very strong emotions. And very few people that I've met are very good at navigating memory.
Absolutely.
So, and so there's pain as we go through life, and then there's psychological suffering, which is when we get caught up in painful memory and keep thinking about it over and over and over again, it extends our emotional pain. It's a little bit like if a fire starts. If you keep throwing logs on the fire, it's going to keep the fire going. And most adults, when they feel emotional pain, keep thinking more about something in a way that it keeps that pain going, keeps it alive, keeps innocently throwing logs on the fire. And as we understand more deeply the nature of thought, when painful memories are reactivated, which will happen, or when we feel upset, when we begin to recognize the nature of thought, it, instead of leading us into thinking harder about something, we tend to wake up out of that thinking. It's like, something horrible happened to me. Why would I keep thinking about this in a way that makes me feel worse? So like this may seem like a little bit of a stretch, but I don't think so. If someone came up and hit us with a baseball bat, that would be horrible.
Right.
If they threw the bat down and ran away, and then we picked up that baseball bat and continued to hit ourselves on the head with it, it wouldn't make sense. It would be like, why would I do that? Something horrible did happen. There's no question. It was horrible did happen. And I want to do something about this. But innocently, it's very easy for any of us to keep thinking about something that keeps us feeling this upset and this hurt and this anger. And that when we begin to learn how thought works, we start recognizing more and more the ways in which we think about things that keep our pain alive. Innocently, we start seeing it. And when people see it, they don't need a technique to put the bat down. Why would I keep thinking about something if it's causing me hurt and pain? But if people don't know that that's where they're hurt and pain from the the bad of thought, if they don't know that that's where their pain comes from, they'll keep innocently keep thinking about things in a way that makes them more and more upset. There's a power that generates thinking inside of every one of us, every person on this planet. We're thinkers. And whatever we think, we're going to feel. So it's not a matter of controlling our thinking, it's a matter of recognizing where what we're feeling right now, where it's coming from. Right? It's one time I had this image of everybody's walking around with a bag of hammers. And some people think about things in a way, they keep thinking in a way that makes them anxious or nervous. That's like having a little worry hammer. And they're doing this. And you say, and they say, oh, I'm really worried. And you say, why are you worried? And they say, oh, because of what's happening in my life. And you say, yeah, but what about that little hammer? What about thought? And they go, what hammer? And as soon as they're aware of it, they don't need a technique to put down the worry hammer. That's what happened to me when I first learned these principles. I thought about life in a way that made me very nervous. And I did a lot of that thinking. And if you ask me, Dicken, why are you nervous? I would say, well, I've got this situation. I'm nervous about this situation. I did not know that 100% of what I was feeling was created by whatever thinking I was doing in the moment. So some people have a worry hammer. Some people have an angry hammer. And they're thinking all day long in ways that keep them feeling angry. And if you ask them, why are you angry? They'll say, because of what somebody did or said. And they won't see. If you see that your feeling is created from thought, it's just an awareness. Oh, my headache is not coming from what happened 4 hours ago. It's coming from how I've been thinking about it for the last 4 hours. And then people put the anger hammer down. And there's all kinds of thought hammers that people can carry that create this feeling of emotional pain. And it doesn't mean that we don't experience sadness or anger or hurt. That's normal. That's the most normal thing in the world.
Or joy or laughter or any of them, or boredom or any of them. I mean, it's not necessarily a good, bad thing. It's just experience, the whole gamut of it.
It's a full spectrum. And psychological suffering is innocently getting caught up in thinking that's painful and not knowing that that's the source of the pain.
Which doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to happen and that they're not real in the world. They are real in the world.
They are real. And I'm really, really sorry that people have to experience such horrible things in their life. It's very painful. And it's understandable that people experience pain in the face of that. And we don't want to make our pain worse because we have a misunderstanding about where our feelings come from. So it's empowering for people. So the fact that every single human being has wisdom inside of them is like saying there's the sun, there's blue sky, and there's storms. We all, as human beings, have thought storms. When our head clears of thought storms, there's blue sky, clarity. Clarity. You got a clean windshield. Now you can see better. You're better able to see what's coming at you and how to deal with it. You have clarity, blue sky, and then that inner light, that inner sun shines through and brings us feelings that connect us, make us feel alive, and it brings us nourishment, which is thinking that's helpful, common sense thinking. And that's what we need if we're in difficult circumstance. Like I was in a war zone once with machine guns going off, guns in my chest, bombs going off, tanks. When I had clarity, I knew where to go and how fast to run and when to stop and when to talk to somebody and when to, all of that became available to me because it's inside every human being. It's inside of each of us. When we understand the nature of thought, we just have a cleaner windshield more of the time. That's what resilience is. Your windshield cleans, you bounce back up again. You feel stronger again. You feel clear, and you have common sense to help you know what to do next. Very proactive. Wisdom is a responsive intelligence to life. Helps us know what to do and how to do it.